Now at 6 o'clock on WKYT this morning, wildfires continue to burn across Kentucky. 33 counties are under a burn ban, and with no rain on the way, find out what officials are doing to fight these fires. A Jessamine County family lost its home in a fire earlier this week. We talked with that family about what their next steps are. And an animal shelter is getting a new roof just before winter. We'll tell you why they needed one in the first place. Those stories coming up on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Michelle Chamberlain. It is Saturday, November 5th, and it's another nice fall day here in the Bluegrass. Meteorologist Mike Linden joins us now with a look at your Saturday forecast. A great day for football, Mike.
Most definitely. A great day to really do anything outside. That is, as long as you have a jacket through the morning and late night hours, because it is cold as we get our morning going. 34 degrees in Lexington, a little frosty in the Bluegrass as we get our morning going, as temperatures across the board are starting out sub 40 degrees or so. A few spots a little bit warmer, like in Breathitt County at 45, but regardless, 34 is certainly a cool start for folks in Lexington. Foggy as well if you're heading westward toward Boyle and Adair counties. Visibility is very low there, and if you're heading eastward on 64 toward Rowan County, watch out for some low visibility there too. Dense fog, and it is a little patchy across the board early on, but as far as anything coming from the skies, a very boring day today, at least weather-wise. Not much going on, as we just aren't going to see any cloud cover. It's going to be mild, dry, which is a concern, and relatively calm. But coming up, I'll take you through your upcoming weekend and show you what it looks like if you're heading to Commonwealth Stadium for the football game tonight.
Thanks so much, Mike. The wildfires continue to burn across southern and eastern Kentucky. 33 counties now have a burn ban in place, and with no rain coming anytime soon, more fires could be on the way. WKYT's Sabira Rayford is at our live desk this morning. Sabira, what are forestry officials doing now to try and fight off these fires?
Hey Michelle, Division of Forestry officials say they're meeting this morning to plan their next course of action. Yesterday, the fires left more than 900 people in Perry County without power. No evacuations have been ordered anywhere, but the Red Cross has shelters on standby. Nearly 500 people have been used to helping the fires. In Harlan County, a fire has forced police to close part of Highway 1679. Officials say the highway will remain closed until the threat has passed. One man told us he feared he would lose his home to a nearby wildfire, but conditions were much better as of yesterday.
It's a blessing to a lot of people, and it is emotional, you know, to think of how scary it was for a while.
State leaders say no injuries have been reported. We will continue to keep you updated on this developing story. At the live desk, Sabira Rayford, WKYT.
A Nicholasville family is trying to recover after losing their home in a fire. The Turney family is living in a small two-bedroom apartment with no furniture. Their home was destroyed by a fire on Halloween morning. Police say the fire is currently under criminal investigation. The family does not have insurance either. The Turners say they just don't know why this happened.
I went upstairs and went through the rubble, as you say, a couple days ago. If it wasn't damaged by the fire, it was by the smoke and water.
Anyone who would like to help the Turner family, you can by finding a link for their GoFundMe page on our website, WKYT.com. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump have a busy weekend ahead as they'll be making last-minute pleas to voters before Tuesday's election. Clinton joined Beyonce, Jay-Z, and other artists at the Get Out the Vote concert in Cleveland. Before that, she campaigned in Pittsburgh and Detroit, while Trump focused on smaller towns at rallies in New Hampshire, Ohio, and Pennsylvania.
Our progress is on the line. Everything that has happened up until this point is on the line.
I didn't have to bring J-Lo or Jay-Z. The only way she gets anybody. I'm here all by myself.
Among the battleground states, recent polls show Clinton leads in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Virginia. Trump leads in Ohio. Now Florida, North Carolina, and Colorado are considered neck and neck. And in the Kentucky Senate race, Jim Gray and Rand Paul will be out campaigning today. Paul will be in the eastern Kentucky, making 5 different stops, including Somerset, Hazard, and Pikeville. Gray will be in western Kentucky, making stops in Louisville and Bowling Green. And we'll have full live coverage on Election Day of state and national races. Just tune in to WKYT or visit our website, WKYT.com, for full results and analysis. A southeastern Kentucky animal shelter is getting a roof just before winter. Sisters Saving Shelters in Lexington has raised nearly $6,500 to build a roof over the dog kennels at the Leslie County Animal Shelter. 10 of the kennels at the shelter are being protected only by a tarp, which has to be replaced every 2 weeks.
They could freeze to death. They could, I mean, it's windy. This is in the mountains. It's cold, and they're out in the rain. They're out in the snow, and they need to be out of shelter just the same as any other animal.
The sisters, along with some volunteers, will be going to the Leslie County Animal Shelter this weekend to work on that roof. If you've got a parking ticket, you're in luck again this year. The Lexington Parking Authority is bringing back their Food for Fines holiday program. Lex Park's Canned Food Drive kicks off Monday and runs through December 16th. People who bring in 10 cans of feed will get $15 off any Lex Park or Lexington Police issued parking citation. Those with multiple citations can bring in as many cans as they want and get $15 off for every set of 10 cans. Past due citations are also eligible. All cans will be donated to God's Pantry Food Bank. We've learned that the owners of a downtown Lexington restaurant are looking to sell their business. Business Lexington reports that Alfalfa's owners, Jim Hepp and Betsy Moses, want to talk to potential buyers interested in either shared or sole ownership of the restaurant. In a Facebook post, the owners say after 17 years, it's time to step aside. UK football looks for another SEC win tonight as it hosts Georgia at Commonwealth Stadium. The game starts at 7:30, and if you can't make it to the game, you can watch it on the SEC network. You can hear from some of the Cats coming up a little bit later on WKYT This Morning in Sports. Thanks for spending your Saturday morning with us here on WKYT This Morning. Coming up, WKYT's investigative team takes an in-depth look at why so many way stations are closed on Kentucky highways. That story's coming up in 10 minutes. And who steals candy, right? At least this sweet tooth thief was sorry for what he did. We'll explain right after Mike's forecast.
Got to be sure you have a jacket if you're heading out this morning. It is chilly as we kick off the weekend, and it will be chilly a little bit later tonight as well. Coming up, I'll take you through the weekend and show you how things are shaping up.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Mike Linden.
Welcome to the weekend, the beginning of November, and it's pretty boring outside, at least weather-wise. We just don't have much going on. We look at the Defender radar network, no cloud cover. That means no rainfall. There's just nothing going on over Kentucky. There's a good reason for it, though. This big blue H sitting right over top of Kentucky, that is high pressure, keeping us clear of the cloud cover and keeping us dry as well. There's just not much going on, and a good reason why temperatures are as chilly as they are is because that wind right now, you can see these lines coming in from the northeast. Of course, cooler air is located to our north, so that is pushing those temperatures down a little bit, enough so that things are a little frosty outside early this morning, especially in the bluegrass region. We're looking at Lexington, Montgomery County, Frankfort. Temperatures in the mid to low 30s, 34 as well in Maysville, and even a few spots as you head further south, like Boyle County, Pulaski County, 37. How about 32 in Wayne County? Regardless, you will need a jacket if you are getting started, no matter where you live. A huge drop-off from where we were at this time yesterday. That's what clear skies will do for you, cause those temperatures to take a step back. Enough so in Lexington, down by 15, and in Wayne County, 24 degrees. All in all, again, you will need a jacket if you are getting your morning started. As we head into the afternoon, temperatures return to the mid to low 60s. You really got to love that bump up that we're getting. Nice and mild for you. Calm but dry, and that is the key, especially with wildfires across the state and with numerous burn bans across the state as well. With dry conditions persisting, it's not exactly what you want for fire development, so be safe out there. And if your county does have a burn ban in effect, do not burn anything. Outdoor burning is prohibited in that case. If you're heading to the football game tonight, like I mentioned, you will need that jacket. Tailgate time in the mid to low 60s. That's pretty comfortable. Mild, won't be breezy really by any stretch. A very boring day by all accounts. It's into kickoff at 7:30, 57 degrees. Then into the second half, 50, and we will continue to drop off even more than that overnight tonight. So bring that jacket if you were heading to Commonwealth Stadium. The next 7 days, let alone for what's going on across the United States, there's a lot going on here in Kentucky as well. Let's not forget about daylight saving time. That's 2 a.m. tonight. We fall back an hour. That means we get an extra hour of sleep. This is the good one, rather than losing an hour of sleep when we spring forward. That's overnight tonight. We fast forward to Tuesday, of course, Election Day, big day in the United States. Weather-wise, things are going to continue to stay boring. Temperatures in the mid to high 60s, looking really good for the week ahead of us. And then right there at the end of the week on Friday, we have Veterans Day. So much going on, Michelle, here in the beginning of November. But it looks like Mother Nature's taking the week off. Not too much going on.
And we really do need rain in the area. It's too bad. I mean, it's beautiful weather, but we really do need that rain.
Most definitely. I was out yesterday covering a wildfire that broke out in Madison County, or in Rockcastle County, rather, and relatively small, 10 acres, but even a little bit of rain will really help to knock things down.
So many of you may have lots of candy left over after Halloween. Well, you may want to protect that candy, and definitely don't leave it in your car.
So a Kansas State freshman had a Kit Kat bar sitting in his car while he went up to his room. Now, when he came back a few minutes later, it was gone. His wallet and phone were still in the car, but there was an apology letter from the candy thief.
Yeah, it just said, I saw a Kit Kat in your cup holder. I love them. I didn't take anything else from your car. I'm sorry and hungry. And I really got a kick out of that. I thought it was really funny.
The student posted the note on Twitter where it has received 500,000 likes.
What?
Kit Kat saw the tweet and sent him 6,500 Kit Kat bars as a replacement. Now he's officially known on campus as the Kit Kat guy. You could say that the candy bar gave him a break.
Oh man, I knew you were going to say something about a break. That was pretty good.
I'm just full of puns this morning, full of energy. Love it.
We've got a lot more coming up on WKYT this morning. When we come back, seeing a closed way station on Kentucky highways is a common sight. We'll tell you what the problem is coming up after the break. But before we go to break, tonight's Powerball jackpot is $217 million, and Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot, $54 million. We'll be right back.
Kentucky mornings start here. You're watching WKYT This Morning.
Thanks so much for watching WKYT This Morning. So weigh stations are meant to be a safety check for trucks on the interstate, but what if we told you the weigh stations aren't open very often in Kentucky, which is a public safety risk and a revenue loss for the state? WKYT's investigative reporter Miranda Combs has the story.
The reason this weigh station is here is written all over the walls. Reminders for the vehicle enforcement inspectors that work here.
High beam headlights.
He's required to do so many of these thorough truck inspections during his shift.
These lines here, that's his main air supply for this trailer.
There aren't many like him in the state right now.
Release!
At least compared to the need.
The wrong person behind the wheel, or you get a truck that's not mechanically sound, it's dangerous.
His weigh station, the southbound London Scales, had 40,000 trucks roll past in September. Want to know how many he and his fellow inspectors were able to check of those 40,000? Just 250.
So that's a lot of trucks that we're missing.
Because you miss what you can't see. Currently, weigh stations in Kentucky are only open 29% of the time in a 24/7 trucking industry.
Right now, because of the manpower issues, we have so few inspectors at each installation that we're only able to keep them open so much time out of the 24-hour day.
The time open averages out to be about 14 days out of the month that a truck might get checked.
They need to be open. The scale houses need to be open.
Gary Thornberry drives his truck through Kentucky 3 times a week.
Everybody needs to be spot checked. You know, everybody needs to be spot checked. It's that simple. That's the only way you're going to weed out the bad drivers.
He's been trucking for 30 years. He's noticed the scales he passes in Kentucky aren't usually open, but didn't realize it was this bad.
It really surprised me that you said only 29% of the time. What's the purpose of having them if you're not going to have them open?
That's a question.
And it's something that we're attacking head on.
We took to Commissioner John Mark Hack with the Department of Transportation.
The number of commercial vehicle enforcement officers are at historically low levels.
And that, Commissioner Hack says, causes a ripple effect. The scales are closed more, public safety is at risk, and money for Kentucky is left in the dust.
It's safe to say that it's in the millions of dollars on an annual basis, and it's certainly sufficient enough for us to take a really hard look at the hours of operation.
If the weigh stations are closed, the state isn't collecting fines and taxes from non-compliant trucks.
The taxes that they pay go directly into the construction and maintenance of roads and bridges.
That's if they pay their taxes. The ones that don't, we're told, do their best to avoid weigh stations. If they're open, they just go around them.
That creates additional public safety risks.
We caught one spot check by vehicle enforcement on I-75 while we were working on this story. The truck driver was arrested, but enforcement admits there aren't enough of them, and so many get by on back roads.
They pattern us. They know when we're out, they know when the scale facilities are open, and so they know when that they can bypass.
You drive a truck, you're supposed to be safe. You're supposed to get from point A to point B the best, safest, quickest way you can. If you're going around them, you're hiding something.
Technology is trying to compensate for the manpower loss. This system, called the Kentucky Automated Truck Screening System, scans all the needed numbers when a truck comes through the weigh station. But it misreads a lot. And many times inspectors have to manually punch in the correct numbers. We watched multiple trucks get flagged by the computer, but not checked by officers while we were there.
Because you don't have enough staff that he's just getting by, right?
Yes, because we only have a few inspectors here at this location, we're unable to make sure that we're catching all of these. And since we've been here, we've had another one that has come by.
Just pump it down until your protection brake pops in.
The state is working to hire more vehicle enforcement inspectors to start building solutions to a public safety concern and money flying out the window.
You know, my family drives the interstate, your family drives the interstate, and that's what we're out here doing, is trying to keep the road safe.
To remedy the problem, the state is now working to hire 25 new vehicle inspectors and 25 more in the spring. One common problem is that the pay grade for inspectors is too low, making it hard to keep them staffed. Your time now is 6:22 on this Saturday morning. Thanks so much for joining us on WKYT this morning. Sports and weather are next.
It's been quite a while since the Wildcats beat the Georgia Bulldogs. They'll look to do that tonight. We hear from the Cats next in sports.
Here we go. Good morning. Welcome back to WKYT this morning. Temperatures are chilly early this morning. Goodbye summer-like temperatures, because it does not feel like it in the slightest. Clear skies overnight have brought us temperatures in the mid-30s this morning. 34 in Fayette County as well as Montgomery County, a huge step back from where we were yesterday. If you're hitting the roads, watch out for some dense fog out there, especially if you're heading eastward on 64 toward Rowan County, or if you're heading west or north toward Frankfort and the Boyle County area. Fog is quite thick in those areas. We will recover temperature-wise. We've just got to get past this cold start to our day. Sports is up next.
And good morning, everyone. The football Wildcats with their biggest challenge of the year tonight. They host Georgia, a team that has lost 4 of their last 5. But with a win, the Cats, of course, will become bowl eligible. And for only the second time in school history, pick up a 4th SEC win. The Cats haven't beaten the Dogs since 2009.
That's something that haven't happened in a long time here at the University of Kentucky, but you know, I try not to look at it like that. I just try to play the game, and I try to focus on me and my team and just winning. You know, our main goal is just to go to a bowl game, and you know that's something that we're still fighting for to get to.
It'll let the fans know that like we hear you, but like we're still gonna handle this. We're still gonna handle this.
They're going to try to handle it tonight. You can see the Dogs and the Cats at 7:30 on the SEC Network. The second exhibition game coming up for the UK basketball team Sunday night. The Asbury Eagles get the opportunity to play in Rupp Arena. One of the highlights of the exhibition opener was Brad Calipari knocking down not 1, but 2 3-pointers. The second one off the glass brought the house down. The younger Calipari has quickly become a fan favorite.
First one was a good opportunity I had, made it. Second one was a little lucky, obviously. Sometimes the ball just happens to fall your way sometimes, and it was just one of those times.
I walked in the door after that game, and I thought I was George Clooney.
She's loving on me. I'm sure she's glad to have me back, just because I was away for a couple years. You know, I'm the baby in the family, so I know she's happy.
All I can tell you is a very smart group, a very driven, wired group, competitive group, and then there's Brad. I'm not George Clooney tonight.
Calipari has jokes. That'll do it for sports. We're back with more after this.
Now at 6:30 on WKYT this morning, southern and eastern Kentucky are being hit hard by wildfires all across the region. A state of emergency has been declared and there is no end in sight. Coming up, we'll tell you what officials think the next step should be. A community gathered to honor the life of a fallen Richmond police officer. A moment of silence was held to honor the life of Daniel Ellis. We'll hear from his wife on how she misses her husband so much. And we're only 3 days away from the 2016 presidential election. Hear what the candidates are saying in their final weekend before the big day. Those stories coming up on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Hey there, good morning. Thanks so much for tuning in to WKYT This Morning. I'm Michelle Chamberlain. It's Saturday, November 5th, and meteorologist Mike Linden says it's expected to be another warm fall day, a perfect day for some football at Commonwealth, right, Mike?
Most definitely, Michelle. We are looking at temperatures recovering, but we've got a ways to go from where we are right now with temperatures in the mid-30s in central Kentucky, 34 degrees in Lexington as well as Montgomery County. State capital, not much quote-unquote warmer than that at 36, along with Boyle County. A little frosty in a few spots there, at least with temperatures that cold. It's foggy as well, especially if you're heading to spots like Franklin County or if you're heading east along 64. Any of those side roads or near any overpasses are bound to be a little foggy. Take it easy if you are hitting the roadways this morning. Here's a look at Defender. The radar network is just boring. I was concerned Chris Bailey was going to fall asleep given his forecast last night. There's just nothing going on right now, nor is there really going to be anything here the next few days. A mild, dry, which is a concern, but relatively calm forecast. But of course, there's still football to be played, and coming up, I'll show you what it will look like later this evening at Commonwealth Stadium. Michelle?
Thank you so much, Mike. The wildfires continue to burn across southern and eastern Kentucky. 33 counties now have put burn bans in place, and with no rain coming anytime soon, there could be more fires. WKYT's Sabira Rayford is at our live desk this morning. Sabira, what is the next step in this process?
Division of Forestry officials say they're meeting this morning to plan their next course of action. Nearly 500 people are helping to fight the fires. Yesterday, the fires left more than 900 people in Perry County without power. No evacuations have been ordered anywhere. In Harlan County, a fire has forced police to close part of Highway 1679. Officials say the highway will remain closed until the threat has passed. National Guard helicopters dropped water over some fires yesterday, which helped get them under control. State officials say there have been no injuries from any of the fires, but the Red Cross has set up 5 shelters on standby in case they are needed. At the live desk, Sabira Rayford, WKYT.
Thank you, Sabira. Family and friends are celebrating the life of Officer Daniel Ellis after he was killed in the line of duty 1 year ago. Yesterday, a moment of silence was held in honor of the fallen Richmond police officer. Dozens of first responders and family came out to show their respects. Family members say they still can't believe he's gone.
He knows that it sat in front of our house. We would wait and look out the window and wait for Daddy to come home. You know what's going on in his mind, I'm not sure. I know for me, I just wish it would come back home.
Officer Ellis will also be honored tomorrow at the 6th Annual Turkey Bowl at Madison Central High School. T-shirts will be sold with his badge number. For more information, just visit our website, WKYT.com. A Lexington man thinks his car was vandalized all because he supports Donald Trump for president. Gary Napier says when he got off of work yesterday, he saw his car badly damaged. Glass was broken, footprints all over his car, and a cracked windshield. Nothing was stolen, but his Donald Trump bumper sticker was thrown on the ground and ripped up. Napier says it will cost him a lot of money to get everything fixed.
It cost me $188 to fix the windshield, and I don't know how much to get the roof banged out. But yeah, I know where my next check's going.
Lexington police say surveillance cameras show 3 different people may be involved in this crime, but no one has been charged. New this morning, investigators say 1 New York police officer was killed and another injured during a shootout with a suspect. Police say they were chasing the suspect, who was wanted for burglary. When they stopped his car, police say he opened fire on them. Police say Sergeant Paul Tuzzulo was killed. They say another sergeant was shot in the leg and is stable at the hospital. The suspect was killed during the shootout. It's the final push before Election Day, and Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are out making last-minute pleas to voters. Weijia Zhang has the latest from the White House.
Jay-Z and his wife Beyonce helped Hillary Clinton excite voters in Cleveland, Ohio, Friday night.
We have unfinished business to do, more barriers to break, and with your help, a glass ceiling to crack once and for all.
Both candidates used their final Friday before Election Day to focus on their bases. Clinton energized minorities and women in big cities like Pittsburgh and Detroit, while Trump visited small-town America with stops in Atkinson, New Hampshire, Wilmington, Ohio, and Hershey, Pennsylvania.
I didn't have to bring J-Lo or Jay-Z, the only way she gets anybody. I'm here all by myself.
As the race moves into its final hours, a new national poll gives Clinton a 2-point lead when you factor in third-party candidates. And among the 13 battleground states that will decide the election, Clinton leads in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Virginia. But other states vital to victory are now neck and neck. They include Florida, North Carolina, and Colorado. Trump has a lead in Ohio. As the clock ticks down, the candidates are taking nothing for granted.
I'm asking you to dream big.
You can make the difference.
Both will cover thousands of miles this weekend in their final push for votes. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, the White House.
And don't forget, we'll have live coverage and results of the election all night on Tuesday, right here on WKYT. A Lexington artist wants to remember the life of Trinity Gay in a special way. Danny Green wants to paint a mural of the 15-year-old who was shot and killed last month in the parking lot of Cookout on South Broadway. Green says all she needs is a wall to paint on. She says she went to high school with Trinity's father, Tyson, and now wants to pay her respects with the painting.
With Trinity, it was kind of like the last straw. It hits home to me. This is my hometown, and it's horrible that all this stuff happens here.
Green has already sold some of her paintings to pay for the special spray paint that she'll need for that mural. New this morning, a Lexington man is behind bars this morning after police say he beat up an officer while trying to steal from a store. Police arrested Jesse Williams on a robbery charge. Police say Williams tried to steal nearly $500 worth of merchandise from the Macy's on Nicholasville Road. Court documents say Williams fought a loss prevention officer who confronted him. The documents say the officer was injured in the fight. Williams will appear in court on Monday. Also new this morning, a man walks away from a bad crash with only minor injuries. The accident happened around 3:30 this morning on Walnut Hill Road in Lexington. Police say the driver got lost in the fog and a car flipped, ending up between 2 trees. Police say the driver was okay and did not have to go to the hospital. A woman is behind bars after state police say she stole thousands of dollars from an elderly Harrison County woman. 35-year-old Becky Hall has been charged with theft and knowingly exploiting an adult. Police say the victim told them Hall took out more than $10,000 from her bank accounts without permission. Hall was arrested after the Harrison County grand jury indicted her on Thursday. A Laurel County family says someone started a fire at their tobacco farm, costing them thousands of dollars. Investigators say the fire destroyed hundreds of pounds of tobacco at Caleb's family farm on Wednesday night. They say someone poured gasoline on tobacco bales and a trailer to start the fire. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office says they have not made any arrests, but they do have a person of interest. A Lexington woman seriously injured in a cycling crash is now sharing her story. Laura Babbage gave the opening prayer at the American Heart Association's annual Go Red for Women luncheon. The wife of former state auditor Bob Babbage crashed her bike in France during a race earlier this year. She's been undergoing therapy at Cardinal Hill Rehabilitation for the last 12 weeks.
I can run, jump rope, and swim, perform amazing memory exercises, some of you may want to talk to me, and drive my car. Quite amazing.
Next month, Babbage, a former nurse, plans to resume her work as a chaplain at UK Medical Center. Fayette County's new nameless high school is about to get a name. According to our news partners at the Lexington Herald-Leader, a committee tasked with naming the county's new school on Winchester Road will make a recommendation to the board next week. The committee will be at the Fayette County Public School Board's meeting on Thursday. Until then, district officials will not release the names of the people on the naming committee. After they recommend a name, the school board will take a vote. Don't forget, tonight is the night to set your clocks back 1 hour. At 2 a.m., daylight saving time ends, and everybody's clocks will go back 1 hour. So enjoy that extra hour of sleep, but make sure your alarm clock is set correctly for the morning. Daylight saving time returns in March. Now let's take a look at what else is going on today in Central Kentucky. Over in Frankfort is the 35th annual Kentucky Book Fair. The book fair runs from 9 this morning until 4:30 at the Frankfort Convention Center. The fair is free and open to the public, and more than 170 authors participate every year, signing their books and meeting readers. There are a couple of Veterans Day activities going on today as well. The first one is in the Veterans 5K race on Leestown Road in Lexington. It starts at 10. All the money goes to benefit the Vet Medical Center's outreach program. The race costs $30. And over in Laurel County, today is the Veterans Day Parade. Opening ceremonies start just before noon at the county courthouse. There will also be a prayer vigil and ceremony honoring all the lives lost during the opening ceremonies. Then the parade starts at 1 on Main Street. Your time now is 6:41 on this Saturday morning. There's still plenty of news coming up on WKYT this morning. Coming up, find out where you can release all your stress and just listen to relaxing sounds of nature on election night. We'll have stories after Mike's forecast.
Things are looking pretty good this morning, but feeling completely the opposite. As we get started here on Saturday, I'll show you what we're looking at and how it feels outside.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Mike Linden.
Here we go as we get our Saturday started. It is chilly outside, to say the least. There's not much going on other than that. Here on the Defender Radar Network, you can see that there's no cloud cover. It's just boring as we get our Saturday morning started. And there's good reason for it. High pressure built up right over top of Kentucky, and that's going to keep us clear of the cloud cover, but also keep us quite dry. And while that will make things look pretty, it's not the best news for folks out there fighting fires, with more than 30+ counties having burn bans in effect and numerous wildfires burning throughout the state as well. Not exactly the weather that we need. We need some rain, but it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing any of that. Right now, we have the winds coming in from the north, and that's pushing temperatures way down by almost 15 or so degrees in quite a few spots out there. Fayette County, one of the coldest, 34 degrees, along with Montgomery County and Maysville at 34 degrees. But how about Wayne County? 32 degrees as we get going early this morning. That is a 24-degree drop-off. And across the state, even a 9-degree drop-off like in Boyle County and in Breathitt County. That is a huge step back. You will need that jacket as we get started early this morning. Won't need it into the afternoon today as temperatures return to the mid to low 60s. A mild day with lots of sunshine for you. A really nice looking day. But as that sun sets and we lose any of that sunlight, temperatures are going to drop off pretty quickly, and we are in store for a pretty chilly night once again. This is a look at your hour-by-hour forecast, just to show you how boring things will be really here the next few days. Today, this afternoon, the mid to low 60s for highs. And then as we get into tomorrow morning, once again, starting off quite chilly in the mid to high 30s. Tomorrow afternoon, the mid-60s. You noticing a trend here? The mid-60s. And then as we head into a Monday, once again, we are looking at temperatures starting off quite chilly. This will be the case as long as skies are clear at night and during the day. We'll get the cool evenings and the relatively mild afternoons. That's what we're looking at the next few days here. And that does hold steady for the football game this evening as well. If you're heading out to the tailgate, gosh, beautiful weather this afternoon. But for kickoff at 7:30, mind you, we're looking at temperatures in the upper 50s. So be sure that you have that jacket. You will be sorry if you don't, especially for that drive home later back to the car. Temperatures in the lower 50s and upper 40s. Chilly, chilly. Now, again, there's so much going on this week let alone in Kentucky, but across the country. We fall back an hour as daylight saving time comes to an end. This is the good one, where we get an extra hour of sleep. That's at 2 a.m. this evening, so hopefully your phone will reset automatically for you, but it doesn't hurt to have that backup alarm set just in case for the folks that need to be at work on Sunday morning. Tuesday, of course, Election Day, and it looks like right up through Election Day, we're looking at some fantastic weather here in the Bluegrass. Temperatures in the mid to high 60s, sunny. A little breezy there on Monday, but other than that, not too much going on until we get into Veterans Day next Friday. All in all, a really nice looking 7-day forecast, but it's key to remember that when you're talking about the chance for fires to break out, that's not the weather you need. You need some rainfall to help things calm down.
You know, and you mentioned Election Day. The weather's going to be beautiful, right? But if you get nervous on Election Day, I like this story because it's a pretty good idea. It's a way to keep calm and to keep your nerves calm during Election Day.
So the Weather Channel will be airing 9 hours of soothing videos and jazz music on Tuesday. This is the first time the Weather Channel has offered something like this. Well, you'd figure for a television station like that, they probably don't have much to talk about.
Yeah, what else are they going to do? I think this is a great idea, especially this year.
The time is 6:48 on your Saturday.
And we'll take a look at your money when we come back.
Samsung is recalling millions of washing machines after reports of injuries. Is yours one of them? And how you can rent a car for free to drive to the polls on election night. Those stories and more coming up in your CBS Money Watch report.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Welcome back to WKYT this morning. Samsung is recalling millions of washing machines after reports of injuries. And find out how you can rent a car for free to drive to the polls on Election Day. Here's the latest on your money.
Investors are anxiously awaiting the outcome of Tuesday's presidential election. A solid U.S. jobs report on Friday failed to calm nerves. On Wall Street, the Dow dropped 42 points. The Nasdaq lost 12. Samsung is recalling nearly 3 million top-load washing machines in the U.S. The move follows reports of injuries caused by the tops of the machines detaching during use. Owners should check with Samsung to see if their washer is involved. The South Korean company is offering repairs, rebates, and refunds. This is the latest blow to Samsung after recalling its Galaxy Note 7 smartphone following reports of overheating and fires. Need a ride to the polls? Zipcar is offering its members free access to more than 7,000 cars on election night. You can sign up on Zipcar's website or app. The car-sharing company says it wants to encourage people to cast their votes. That's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. In New York, I'm Roxana Saberi.
Welcome back to WKYT this morning. Your time is 6:55, and there's a lot going on this beautiful Saturday morning. Here's a look at some events that are taking place today. Over in Frankfort is the 35th annual Kentucky Book Fair. The book fair runs from 9 this morning until 4:30 at the Frankfort Convention Center. Now, this fair is free and open to the public, and more than 170 authors participate every year. They sign books and they meet their readers. Over in Laurel County is the Veterans Day Parade. Opening ceremonies start just before noon at the county courthouse. There will also be a prayer vigil and ceremony honoring all the lives lost. And then the parade starts at 1 on Main Street. And what a beautiful day for football. The Kentucky Wildcats play tonight at Commonwealth. Perfect day to tailgate and watch a game, right?
Most definitely. We're looking at temperatures this afternoon in the mid to low 60s. So if you're heading to the stadium, it looks beautiful out there. Kickoff is a different story. Still beautiful, nice and clear, but chilly. Temperatures dropping into the upper 50s and only going to get cooler from there. The next few days really looking quite pleasant as well. There's a lot going on as well. Don't forget to set those clocks back an hour. So if you are heading to Commonwealth Stadium, you'll get an extra hour of sleep tonight, as at 2 o'clock this morning, we fall back an hour. So this is the good one. This is an extra hour of sleep. Tuesday, of course, Election Day, and it looks like the weather right up until that point is looking pretty good. Now, Michelle, you're actually heading to Commonwealth Stadium for the football game tonight, right?
Yeah, I moved back to Lexington last summer. I haven't been able to go to a game, so I thought I'd take advantage of this extra hour of sleep and see the Cats play.
When was the last time you were at Commonwealth Stadium?
it's been a while.
It's been a while.
College, and I'm not going to say when that was.
What a good atmosphere, though. I mean, you're talking
I
about
know,
beautiful
right?
weather. The stadium, of course, is gorgeous and all renovated. And you're talking about the Cats on the verge of going bowling.
I know.
Pretty good
Beat
evening.
Georgia, right? That's
Gotta
all
love
we
it.
need to do. Nobody's more up to date than you to start your day. Stay with us. We'll be back for another hour of news, weather, and sports.